Hi, I'm Eva Gardner, and I'm here in Corona, California, checking out the Fender American Professional Classic Precision Bass. So when I'm playing with an artist, a lot of times my role is to be a bit of a chameleon, and the musical director who's in charge of everything, they want things to sound a lot of time like a record. But if we're doing covers or maybe playing some different stylistic things within a set, I have to be able to dial in those different sounds. So the perfect starting point is this bass. And I can play with my fingers or a pick or thumb style or dial in things, messing with the tone knob and the volume knob. This is the perfect place to start to dial in whatever tone you need in any setting, live or in the studio. The role of the Fender Precision, for me, it's always been a workhorse. It's always just the main instrument in my arsenal. And there was one time, I remember when I was in high school, I was in 11 bands. And I only had one bass. I just had a Fender Precision. It was the one that I got for Christmas, that I finally earned the Fender Precision. And I was in 11 bands, and they ranged from the high school big band to a reggae band to a jam band, a salsa band. It was all kinds of different styles of music, different ranges, and it was this bass that I could get the sound that was perfect for all of them. These new Coastline pickups offer vintage voice with more output, which I think comes in really handy. I personally like pickups with more output. I love the sound of a vintage pickup, but having more oomph to it really helps me to get that killer sound that I love. I think it's so fun to have these great color options that are an homage to these colors that were around back in the day, but they look like what they would look like if it was a bass from the 60s or the 70s. It's fun to have like an old favorite band t-shirt or something that you just live in that feels comfortable. It gives that energy as well, something that's familiar and loved. In addition to the Coastline pickups, another great feature of this bass is having the grease bucket circuit, where you have the full use of this tone knob, where I think on a lot of basses that I've played and I'm not always using the entire range of that tone knob. It's usually more towards the treble side. So having the full spectrum of this particular instrument is a really great feature, and I'm looking forward to using it a lot. Feature that is fantastic about this bass is the satin neck. It just feels right out of the gate super smooth. It feels like it's worn in like an old familiar t-shirt. Again, it just feels comfortable. It feels like home, and you're able to slide up and down the neck with great ease. Fender bass is synonymous with electric bass. And when I started learning how to play, they would say, hey, Eva, I hear you're learning how to play the Fender bass, like the Fender bass. And they didn't just say electric bass, they said Fender bass, because to them, it was synonymous with this instrument, with the electric bass. It's a household name for so many people, right? And people that have gone on later to develop their own version of it, this is always the basic model, right? This is, kind of looks like this. It might sound like this too, but it doesn't have the actual name on it. And so I think it's important to note that this is the one. Precision bass players that have inspired me. I remember when I first started playing, my dad told me about Carol Kay. And there's an iconic picture of her in the studio with the Fender Precision bass. So even if you've never heard her name, you've heard her bass playing. You've heard her playing this instrument. Another bass player, of course, another icon is James Jamerson. There aren't a ton of photos of him around, but one of the ones that circulated a lot is him and a Sunburst Fender Precision bass. My first band playing at crappy clubs in Hollywood, we were doing Ramone songs and Clash songs. So Dee Dee Ramone, Paul Simonon from The Clash, another iconic figure in Fender Precision world. I'm always listening. One of the big roles that we have as musicians and as bass players is to listen. And I think that's going back to any advice that I'd have for somebody who's coming up and is learning is listening, right? Listening to as much music as you can, different kinds of music, and learning those parts, learning the parts of the masters, learning what they're playing. And eventually you can make it your own and create your own style. But starting out by just listening and learning and playing as much as you can.